I don't trust this Boston team, right? That's sort of how we started the show. Like I do not trust them. I don't care who we're talking about, whether it's Missoula on the sideline, whether it's Brown, whether it's Tatum. I mean, Marcus Smart may be the only guy I trust to a small degree, but this Boston team is just like Jekyll and Hyde roller coaster ride. I don't have faith in any of them. And I mean, honestly, I'm betting on Miami. I'm betting on history to continue. I don't have faith in either of these teams, right? You don't know what you're going to expect on any given night right now in this series. It's why it's been fun from an entertainment, from a fan perspective, from a betting perspective, though. It's been challenging. I mean, my only thing I can say with relative confidence is you got to take the points, right? And that's sort of based off of everything I'm saying, like just the uncertainty, the inconsistencies, the ups and downs, the unknown. All of that being said, I think no one would be shocked if Miami won this game outright. I don't see it being a blowout, though. So I think that's the only thing I have confidence in going into this game.
But it's given me enough time to think about this. Nikola Jokic, as soon as he wins a championship, and I think that's this year, I think we have to start to talk about him in the conversation of where does he belong with the all-time great big men. And I'm not suggesting to you, Rye, that he's in the Shaquille O'Neal or Hakeem Olajuwon conversation just yet. Let's let him win a few rings, and then we'll look back on it. But what I am telling you is he's done everything, right? He's got the 6 most triple-doubles in the history of the NBA. He's got 2 MVPs. Now his team has the best record in the Western Conference, and now he's got them all the way to the NBA Finals. A lot of guys have put up a lot of good numbers and have a lot of good hardware. But once you win a championship, we tend to talk about you different. I think as soon as Jokic wins a championship, and I think that comes in a couple of weeks from now, then all of a sudden we start to talk about him as a top 10 big guy of all time.
Side note, Eastern Conference MVP. I mean, how long have they been giving out conference finals MVP? I mean, what are we doing here, people?
Are you saying this is like kindergarten graduation and then first grade graduation and then semester graduation? You know what I'm telling you then? Here's your problem. They're not your kids and these aren't your teams. That's the problem. If they're your kids, it's great. Oh, it's so cute. If it's your team, that's what you do. You give out these awards and it's awesome. But you don't care. Your team's out of it. So what do you care? I get it. Bitter.
So true. I'm the weird uncle that's at the first grade graduation. Like, what is this?
Who's that guy?
Yeah.
Who's the bearded guy? What is he doing?
Can I bring my beers into the graduation? What's going on here? Come on.
No, sir. We've told you twice.
Guys, thank you for having me on here. Great to be here. And I'll tell you what, there's a really good chance we will see a Game 7 in this series. And I think you look at the first few games of the series, there was that one blowout that we saw, but that was due to the 5-minute major taking place. Jamie Benn with that bad penalty to start the game off. And it pretty much got out of control from the start of that game. But other than that, we've seen a lot of very close games. And it really seems like Dallas has picked up their defensive intensity. They're causing turnovers. They're forechecking hard, making Vegas make mistakes, which I feel like Dallas was getting too caught up in playing kind of too fast of hockey. They've gotten back to who they are, trusting their defense, trusting their goaltending. So I'll continue to look towards Dallas. I will say I do have my last future ticket is on them at 15-1. I'm not sure who I'm going to take in Game 7 yet, but I do think Dallas can extend this. And guys, I will mention this. I have seen this trend. Every game in this series but one, the first period has gone over 1.5 goals. And most of the time, you don't really get a good price on that these days. When you get a total of 5.5, you're getting a pretty good price on it. So what I've noticed in this series, we're getting really, really fast starts, and then things seem to tend to slow down.
All 5 American League East teams right now are over 500. If you were to bet right now, how many of those teams actually end up in the playoffs? Right now, 4 of the 5 teams, go figure, according to BetMGM, have better odds to make the playoffs than to miss. Everybody except for Boston.
Yeah, it's crazy how successful that division has been so far from top to bottom, right? Like you look at the NL East and, you know, with the Phillies and Braves and Mets, Marlins, you know, Nats, you go into this year and you say, man, this division is like the best in baseball, top to bottom. But, yeah, to your point, it's the AL East. I don't know. I think 3, 2, 2 or 3. I don't see how any more than 2 realistically. But I mean, 3 is obviously very possible. But I'd probably go with 2. I don't know.
Oh
Who's
man,
your 2?
I think 3. I can give you 3, but Tampa's a lock, right? We agree with that. Tampa's so good at home, it's ridiculous. It's not supposed to matter that much home or road, a little bit, but compared to other sports, baseball home field advantage doesn't mean nearly as much. It does with Tampa. Right now, they're on pace to have the best home record in the history of baseball. They're 26-6 at the crib. And then you got Baltimore, who I don't think enough people are talking about, right? We knew that they were young. We knew that they were good. We knew they had that fun run toward the end of last year, but they never had really big expectations. Everybody thought they were still a couple of years away. And the fact the Rays are so good that nobody's been talking about them. Yo, Baltimore's 34-19, right? That is the second best record in the entire American League, only behind Tampa Bay. That's the 4th best record in all of baseball, and I feel like nobody's really talking about them. Right now, they're 4 games back. You know when people are going to start to talk about the Orioles? And I'm not saying this is going to happen. If they were to catch Tampa somehow, because everybody's talking about Tampa and how good they are at home, how they're going to finally go out there, small market team, win the World Series. If the Orioles actually catch them, right, then everybody's going to be talking about Baltimore.
Oh, absolutely. But I'm not banking on Baltimore to continue this, right? Like, listen, once again, it's May. It's May. This is the time when Baltimore can shine, right? There's a lot of baseball left to be played. And for me, I see Tampa, I see the Yankees. And those are the 2 teams that I'm confident are going to make the postseason. Could I see a third? Absolutely. Could I see Baltimore? Could I see Toronto? I could. There's a lot more baseball still ahead of us, but where I'm putting my money right now, it's going to be Tampa Bay, and it's going to be the Yankees.
The Chiefs, I mean, they could use like a real wide receiver since Tyreek Hill left. They went on and won the Super Bowl, so they don't necessarily need that guy to go out there and have 1,300, 1,500 yards like we've seen DeAndre Hopkins have in his career. And I'm not sure he is that guy. That's the other thing is, how much gas does he have left in the tank? He obviously wants to go out there and win a ring before he hangs up the cleats. But also, Rye, how expensive is it going to be? Because if you're talking about these teams, these good teams, they don't necessarily have a ton of money laying around for a wide receiver that they have question marks for, which is why I agree with you. I think ultimately Baltimore is probably the best landing spot for him because not only could Baltimore use him, but he could use Baltimore.